think we're. Oh, it says we're live. Okay.
So we've been live for like 30 seconds. Good shit.
Okay. Are you seeing it on YouTube right now?
I'm not on YouTube right now. I can open it up to check.
Oh wait. Okay. Cool.
We'll just trust that we are.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Oh wait, that's not what I. I want to do this like down a little bit. Okay, that's better. Wait, I can't. Are you talking? No.
I'm not. No. Are you gonna introduce us for the live show?
Okay. Yeah. So, oops. Shit. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here we go. All right. I'm gonna like stop. Okay. Cool. So right now we are live streaming, and this is Anu, and I am ACAB True Crime. And yeah, so basically the premises of this is for me to like go over some of the stuff that I've been researching and finding out about the Idaho 4 case, and I just like don't know how to make videos about it, so I'm gonna just like explain to Anu like stuff, and he's gonna ask me questions, and then maybe I will um like make little clips and stuff out of this video. So yeah. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah,
What?
actually, I'm here as a consultant for the Idaho 4 case investigation that Sarah's conducting. She's not an official investigator, but she knows a
Oh,
lot about forensic psychology, and I keep her a bit down to earth. I think me and Sarah are friends.
oh shit, you're not supposed to say my name.
Me and ACAB are friends.
Yeah.
And also gonna serve as an aliens consultant in case shit really hits the fan with our analysis, but maybe and probably not.
Um, wait, what's probably not? Should hitting the fan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully this will go smoothly. Okay, so where should we start? I have all my notes next to me. Oh, first, do you want to start with the tarot reading that I did today about this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
let's do that.
I will share. Hold on, let me find the photo. I wish I could. Okay, here it is. Um, all right, so this is the spread that I had today, and it is the spread was advice, and so the first card was hold on, let me actually. The spread was pretty cool. So the first card is you as you are, and then the second card is are you on the correct path, and the third card is what's the main obstacle. That's the one that I was like the most confused about. The fourth card was what is helping me, and then the fifth one is how can progress be made. And then the overall like feel of the spread was the one above it all, which is the magician. So, um, so me like as I am as the Six of Wands. It's okay. So the Six of Wands basically talks about how hold on, I'll pull up each here. So Six of Wands means success, public recognition, progress, and self confidence. And it appears when you've reached an important milestone or achieved a significant goal, and you're confident, self assured, and successful. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Uh-oh, what happened? Shit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's lame. Well, I'll be back up soon. Um, as long as you can still hear me, I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's lame. Why did that happen? Oh, there I'm back. Okay. So, and then so yeah, so that's me in my current position is like I guess telling me that I'm successful. And then the 8 of Wands is the are you on the correct path? And that means movement, fast-paced, change, action, alignment, air travel, and it says that you can look forward to rapid completion of a project currently underway. There's no stopping you now as you are bursting with energy and ideas, and you cannot wait to achieve one task and start another. This card is assigned to strike when the iron is hot. It's most definitely an action-oriented card that encourages you to move as quickly to pursue the best opportunities available. There is no waiting around while the Eight of Wands is present to determine where your energy should go and get on with it. So that's pretty cool, I thought. And then the card for what is the main obstacle is the King of Swords, which I didn't really understand this. So maybe you can help me figure that out. But it is hold on. No, wait, swords. Did I say King of Swords? Yeah.
Yeah.
So King of Swords means mental clarity, intellectual power, authority, and truth. Oh, maybe it means that like I feel like I don't have those things. You know what I mean? You think that
Yeah,
makes sense?
the third card was what you were looking for.
No, it's like what's the main obstacle holding me back.
Okay.
So mental clarity, intellectual power, authority, and truth. Which I feel like I do kind of have all those things, but I do feel like maybe I'm like I like feel like people won't think I will or something or I don't know. That's why I was a little confused by it, but yeah. And then the next card, which is what is helping me, and that is the Knight of Wands, which I thought was also pretty cool. Back to the wands. So the Knight of Wands is energy, passion, inspired action, adventure, and impulsiveness. So that's what's helping me. And then the final card means how can progress or is what how can progress be made, and that's judgment. So judgment basically means let's see, I'll go back. Um,
Can you hear me?
yeah. Why? What happened?
Um, you cut out for a second.
Oh, okay. Judgment means um, it's it's calling you to rise up and embrace a higher level of consciousness for the service of your highest good. It indicates that you need to make a life changing decision. You okay? It says it pops up in a tarot reading when you are close to reaching a significant stage in your journey. You have reviewed and evaluated your past experiences and have learned from them, which is true. All the pieces of the puzzle of your life are finally coming together to form one unified picture of your life story. It says that it suggests that you may find comfort in sharing your struggles with others within a group environment. There will be others who have experienced similar and who can show you the way to freedom from your troubles. Let them guide you and help rise together. I thought that was kind of cool, like that. So that is how can progress be made. So I think that that suggests that I should like share my trauma from my past experiences of dealing with like fucking forensic psychology, and then yeah, and then the overall like
Or perhaps
feeling.
even your trauma about the
What?
case. Perhaps even your trauma about the case and how you feel like there's a level of secrecy enshrouding things to the point where like you do feel like concerned or like disaffected by the idea that there's another story that's being buried within that case.
That's true. Yeah, totally. But yeah, and the overall feel for the card or for the reading is the magician, which is manifestation, resourcefulness, power, and inspired action. So I feel like that's pretty cool. So that's when I like texted you and I was like, I just did a tarot reading. Let's go live now. But then like 2 hours later, I was like, fuck this bullshit. I don't know how to do StreamYard. But anyways, so okay. Now
Good
going
job. I appreciated it. So
yeah.
now that the tarot reading is out of the way,
Do you want a tarot reading?
no? Yes? A
Yeah.
tarot reading about what?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, we're live right now, so give me a tarot reading if my name is really Anu and I've got like a future in the world of magic.
Okay. Um, so I'll just do maybe I should use the pendulum for that, but yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like,
The pendulum?
yeah.
It's a good idea. Bring
Should I
it
bring
out.
okay, hold on. Give me one well, I'll pull one tarot card as like just symbolizing Anu, Anu, and then I'll grab the pendulum about your question. What was your question again?
If I have a future in the world of magic.
Okay. All right. So your tarot card is the Seven of Pentacles. And I think that that is good. Let's see.
Do we have any viewers?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yes, it doesn't matter. We'll see.
Yeah, I can. Let's see. We have. I don't know how to know. No, it says one person's watching, and I'm pretty sure that's me. So, but that's fine. So it says long-term view, sustainable results, perseverance, and investment. Um, It shows you the understanding of value of putting in time and energy now for longer term rewards and have a strong desire to invest in sustainable results. You're not looking for quick wins. You want to make sure you're putting your attention to the right areas instead of wasting time and effort on tasks that will not deliver any value. So it says it encourages you to take a long term view and assess where you can best invest your time and energy for the maximum output. You do not want to keep putting your heart and soul into something you won't reap rewards for your work, and you have undoubtedly seen that some areas in your life are just energy sappers. If you have been working hard, or putting the extra effort into something challenging and important for the last few months, the endeavor or project is near its culmination. Rest assured, your hard work will pay off. So basically, I think it says what that's telling you is like you um, if you want to put in the work, you can get it if you want it. You know, do you want me to get the pendulum? The
Yeah,
pendulum
bring
might
it
be
out.
helpful. Okay.
You're super quiet on my end. I'm gonna try to adjust my audio to see if I can get you a little louder.
Okay. No, that might be my fault because of the microphone.
I'm just gonna put you through a speaker if I can. Hopefully, it won't echo too bad.
Oh no.
Da-da.
So we're asking. Here, can you hear me better now?
A little bit. I think I can.
Okay. All right. So we're asking if Anu has a future in magic. Is that what it is?
Yeah. You found the real Anu.
If you are the real Anu.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Spirit guides. Is Andrew the real Anu? I don't really know what that means, but please channel and let us know. Either way. Okay. It says yes.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you,
Heart
spirit
control.
guides.
I'm good to go.
Cool. Should I ask I'm gonna ask if we're gonna get any views on this. We'll see if they're right. Okay. Remember I used the pendulum last time I used the pendulum when we went fishing. I was like, are we gonna catch any fish? And it said no. And then it was right.
Was that last time we went fishing, or was that like a while
No,
ago? I feel like,
no, it was the last time I used the pendulum.
oh,
Okay, spirit guides. Are we gonna have any more than me as a viewer? Okay, it's like strongly saying yes. So cool. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna spray some protection spray just so we make sure that people that do join us are not bad. Okay.
you have a protection spray. It's like a parasite, like repellent, but spiritually. Damn, you're lucky as hell. It's like some advanced potions work.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to the I in Uptown, Minneapolis, for that.
The Eye of Horus.
Well, they like changed the name now. It's just the I. I don't know what they have against Horace, but okay. So let's get into Idaho 4. Um. Okay, I guess where should where should we start, or where should I start? Do you think?
Wait, can I take 1 sec and turn my camera? I'm really hungry, and I'm gonna start something, and then I'll be back while it cooks.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'll be ready. You're ready, and we'll get this going.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
So let's see. I'm looking through right now to all of our viewers. Just kidding, there's no viewers, but I'm looking through all of my screenshots, and maybe the best way to go about this is to just follow the process that I took in my sleuthing activities and go from there. So, what the why would I? Oh, okay. So, this is interesting. I'm gonna pull up. I wonder. Damn it, if I can. Oh, I bet here. I know what I can do. It said it's sent. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. Stop screen. Present. A window. Downloads. Share. Oh shoot, no. Okay, not remove that. And I will stop that and then try to present window image. Okay. Oh, why does it do that? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, cool. So, this is an image from when I was on a live chat. It looks like it was at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I believe it was true crime time. And we were just going over stuff, and then someone wrote, oh, here it is right here. This quote: "The gilded sheath of pity sometimes covers the dagger of envy." Friedrich Nietzsche. And I was like, dude, that's weird. Because I had, okay, wait. Yeah, this is like when I was like, what? Like, oh, wait, shit, what did he say below that? He said, "So I ask." What did he say after that? I wasn't paying attention. That's lame. Oh, well. Also, this paracosmonaut thing is kind of weird too. Like, okay, so I'm just like talking to myself now, but
No, I'm here. I've been
okay.
listening.
Did you been listening to me? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this paracosmonaut thing is weird because I feel like definitely there's like some Russian, references like Moscow, Idaho. Like when I first heard of Moscow, I was like, why were there like 4 American students like in Moscow, and like why would they get murdered? And it was like after all this Ukraine stuff or whatever. Then I realized it was in Idaho, so I was like, well, that's kind of weird. And then also their news station is Krem, like KREM, which I also think is kind of weird, like the Kremlin, you know what I mean? Anyways, and then like the first thing that I see with this Friedrich Nietzsche thing is this cosmonaut, and that's like the like Russian astronauts. So anyways, and then I was like, well, that's interesting. And okay, so after that, I found like a lot of other quotes from Friedrich Nietzsche. Um, so that which is done out of love is always beyond good and evil. So I'm like, well,
wow.
maybe. Okay, I'm echoing now.
Why did Nietzsche think it was beyond good and evil?
I
As
don't
long
know.
as it's done out of love.
I think I'm echoing. What did you do before when you were like, hopefully this won't be an echo?
I think you turned your second mic off. Was what happened?
No, I haven't changed anything. I just like started putting this mic up to my mouth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm echoing or you're echoing? Because I don't hear you echoing.
I'm hearing an echo.
I
Maybe
hear a
not.
small echo now.
Maybe not. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, anyways. Well, yeah. So then it says, okay, another one of his quotes is there are no facts, only interpretations, which I think is also kind of interesting for this case a little bit. And then I Googled that quote and like tried to look into like what it meant, and then this came up. Okay, hold on, let me share this. I wonder if I can share a couple of them. Oh, well. Or no, wait, here, let me see if I can select. Okay, cool, I can do this. Select, select, select. Select, 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 select. Okay. And now what? Okay. I'm gonna share with my computer. Okay, so yeah, when I Googled that quote, I wish, and this was in the beginning when I didn't realize I should be like screenshotting everything, so I kind of had to go back, but maybe I can go back to other stuff or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna close this image. Oh wait. Okay.
Do we have a viewer now, Sarah?
Oh what?
A
No,
viewer?
that's me.
That little beepy sound? We're like, ba ba ba.
Oh, I don't know. It says still only one viewer because I think you can see it up on on this StreamYard thing.
I've not seen it. It must be.
Oh shit! What happened? Oh no! Okay, so oh good, you're back, and I can't hear you. Oh wait, let me add you. Hold on. Hold on. Add to stream. Okay,
You look good, by the way. I'm sorry I look a little sketchy for this stream. I don't know. My lighting must be off or something.
you're okay. I think you look good.
Thank you. I'll find a better place to sit.
Wine. Just kidding. Okay, so this was all right. Let's see. When I Googled that quote, this came up, and it was like this video game called Hitman Forum. So it must have been for some video game called Hitman or something. I don't know. Do you know anything about video games? Anu?
I've heard of the video game Hitman. I think it's a violent video game used to brainwash youth into joining the military.
Ah, okay.
It could have something to do with the militarized style, uh, house clearing type of violence that we see here in this case.
Yeah, totally. Well, and also one of my theories is that that Brent Kopaka dude, I've talked to you about him a little bit, but he was the neighbor of Brian that got like murdered by the police. And one of the police that he was like murdered by was in his like same battalion, like in the army or whatever. But I think that maybe Brian also, well, I know that Brian had some like desires for wanting to be military or like cop type people, and he like tried out for it, and like back in the day he like in high school or something was he like was in the ROTC program or something similar, and then they like kicked him out or something because of like I don't know if that's true, but he had like affiliate he like had looked up to like military like cop type bullshit, you know. So
Along
anyways,
with being a vegan, I find that to be very interesting that he would be so quick to pick up a gun as like a vegan and even as a drug addict, because I feel like drug addicts, but for better or worse, they're very police averse, naturally due to the illegality of drugs. So it seems like he's got everything going for him to not join the army.
well,
So
so here's the
we're
thing.
supposedly predicting a life in crime long before these victims were specified, and he just kind of chose some random people and picked on them as his prey.
No, so okay, so here's my theory behind that. Like, so Brian has visual snow,
Hmm.
which is like a neurological condition. Oh, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. I bet Leela's gonna become raining out here pretty soon. Yeah, so so first of all, so he had visual snow, and I don't know, have you read any of the conversations that he had online? You don't know like really anything about this case, right?
You've given me the down low on some of his visual snow conversations. Do you want to kind of repeat like a overall summary of them for me?
Yeah. Okay. So this here. I did a lot of research on visual snow. Do you want to hear any more background on that? But I mean, I think it's more
It's
interesting to
kind of a
read his.
mysterious disease, isn't it? Visual snow is kind of a mysterious disease, isn't it?
Yeah, so it, like, just I think in, like, 2016, finally was even determined to be, like, an actual disorder. So there's, like, 0 research on it, and he posted a bunch of shit, on this thing called like, a forum called Tapatalk, and it was, um, in 2011. So this is, like, before he ever, like before it was ever considered to be a syndrome or whatever. So and, it's, like it's yeah, that's, like could be, like, a whole other thing. I guess I could go into it, like so, like, there was, like okay, where is my information on that? This is, like okay, maybe I should make a list and, like so, like, for our next, like, live, I can, like, compare things and be like, "Okay, I'll go over the visual skill information." Oh my god, Leela just came out. Leela. I just mentioned her, that's so cute. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little
Like
bit of my
video in our video?
there's something like it sounds like you're, like, warbled or something.
Oh, sorry. I'm in my kitchen, and sound kind of reflects differently, I think. Do you hear me?
Now I can, yeah. Okay, so
You don't mind if I cook a little bit while we talk, do you?
no, I don't.
Okay. If we get a viewer,
You
let
should
me
ask
know. And
your
sit
other
back.
viewers. What?
If we get a viewer, let me know, and I'll sit back down.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna make a little list about what to do. So, um, do extensive shit on no. So because okay, so what my background is like a little bit like I wrote like I like have a lot of so I should just tell the audience like I basically completed like my doctoral training in clinical psychology and I worked in prison systems and I've like always just been interested in like kind of like I guess like brain more of brain stuff like neuropsychology because of like the population that I worked with and like just inevitably because you're working with like populations that are in prison like a lot of them have like traumatic brain injuries and stuff um so anyways, like, I wrote a couple of, like, term papers on some pretty interesting syndromes called, like, Capgras is one of them, and, another one, but they okay, I feel like something's distracting, like, I feel like you're being loud or something. Maybe you should mute yourself.
Oh yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Um, so yeah, but then, yeah, like, yeah, maybe hold on. Now you disappeared, but, oh, I'm gonna like okay, so I wonder if I can alright, anyways, sorry, that was, like, a little bit of a break there, but I wonder why can't you see me right now? This is weird. Oh, wait, shit, I'm so confused. Um, this is weird. What's going my browser lost connection to my camera. Damn it. What is going on? Okay. Boo. Oh, this is weird. Oh, what the fuck? Can you hear me? Anu? Oh my god. Oh. What the fuck? Okay. All right. Hi, I'm back. So, I'm gonna mute Anu. No, wait. Can you mute yourself, Anu? Okay, I'm gonna mute him, and then when I see
I'm in the
it,
show. Hello. Can you hear
huh?
me?
Hi. Yeah. Can you mute yourself?
Darn it, now I can't hear you.
You can't. You can't hear me.
No, I can.
Okay.
I just need to press the play button. Here, I'm gonna mute my mic one more time.
Okay. Cool. Beautiful. All right. So I just wrote myself a note about the visual snow thing, but yeah, so I like have, I think, more detailed information about, like, like, it sounds like this visual snow thing like affects the like visual processing center of the brain, which I think is really interesting because a lot of the like the Capgras syndrome that I did like a term paper on, and a couple of other things that I wrote, like other kind of like scholarly did research on, like has to do with visual processing centers, and I think that that is relevant to maybe like what Ryan Kohlberger has um experienced or whatever. So, and then yeah, so anyways, Brian wrote about, so I'll like do that another time. Um and let's see. I'll read some of the shit that he posted on Tapatalk. So he says, this is him explaining the struggles that he experienced. He said, I can't remember anything um recent or anything from childhood. I used to be able to remember everything from my childhood and every day for a month before me. Now I am just a blank soul living in the now. What hurts the most is knowing that every time I try to remember things from the past, I can't, and my mind is so hung up with the visual snow, all the migraine versus visual snow effects mentally, the buzzing in my ear, um, that I can't even focus on that. I got it September 21st of last year, and ever since then I've been depressed and I can't remember anything at all. And I've always been this horrible pressure in my head. My mind is never not on visual snow, and I always wonder what a
It
normal
sounds
person would be doing.
it sounds like a
What?
demonic possession if he can't remember his life. It
Oh,
sounds like an
totally.
entity took over his life without
Yeah.
him disappearing. And
Yeah.
it happened on the equinox. That's like some very, very like outer space related stuff.
Oh, that's
Like
interesting that it did. Okay, dude. Okay. That's so interesting that you said that. And I didn't realize that it was the equinox. But okay, so Brent Kopaka, this guy who, you know, is this like, I think is a part of it, and was like a military dude. His email address that he posted uh on Facebook, I think it was his Facebook email address, is KPAX. Do you know what KPAX is about, the movie?
I did not. What is it about?
Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up. Actually, I wrote, no, I won't do that. Okay. Okay. So it's about an alien who has been who took over someone's body who had major PTSD. Like, it's so fucking crazy, dude. That's so weird that you said that. Okay, so hold on. Um, let's see if, so basically it's about, okay, so Kevin Spacey, unfortunately, plays, I think his name is like Prat, like Prot, but I think you pronounce it. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but anyways, basically he should we watch the trailer for it?
Yeah, let's do that now.
Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and pause it. So basically what the background is like that let's see if I can change stop screen, present, share screen, window. We'll do this window. Share. Okay. Oops.
I can't hear the sound.
Okay.
Did you hear me earlier? I said we don't get sound on that video, but
Oh fuck! Really? That's lame.
kind of lame. But it looked interesting. Like I would watch it.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to do the sound on that. Um, but whatever. I guess that's too bad. So, anyways, yeah, boo. But K-Pax is about this guy who comes to Earth, and he says that he's from um this planet called K-Pax, and his name is Prat, and okay, hold on, let's see. Okay, he's an extraterrestrial 10 or 1,000 light years away in the Lyra constellation. Prot, not capitalized and pronounced with the long O, rhyming with boat, so Prot, is committed to the Psychiatric Institute of Manhattan, and they think he has delusions. And so then he is introduced to a bunch of astrophysicists, and they're like confused about how he has so much information about like the star system and stuff. And then he like plans to leave Earth on July 27th, and then his psychiatrist like confronts him about the date because he believes that this is a significant date in Prot's life because he suffered a severe psychological trauma on that date when his wife and daughter died like in a car accident or something. Get this. This is also super interesting and something that I think is like relevant, but he uses information to gain from these sessions and he figures out that he may be the alter ego of Robert Porter, a man from New Mexico who worked as a knocker, an animal slaughterer. And I feel like vegetarian veganism and like animal slaughtering is like comes up a lot in this like case. He
Oh, with the animals that were like found on people's doorsteps and all.
yeah, all of that stuff, and also, like, there's, like, a lot of different quotes, like, um yeah, like, yeah, that those, like, mutilated things, but then also just the fact that I feel like a lot of people are vegans or vegetarians, like Ian Harsh, which is, like, the neighbor of the Idaho 4, in the house he, like, lived in an apartment next door or whatever. He I don't know if he's a vegetarian. I think he did say that he was a vegetarian, but, he, like, definitely is, like, a foodie type, and I found some other weird stuff connected to that same quote that we're talking about right now that is connected to, like, some weird food things because what okay, so to get back to
Sorry. I
all of
think
this stuff.
it's potentially mundane is there being like vegetarians in the neighborhood.
No, no, no. I know that that seems like
Like
coincidental, but,
simple
like, the fact that
things.
this specific quote comes up, like, with this food stuff is weird, and it is weird because and then the other thing about Brian Kohlberger, and I think that is a connection that could have introduced him to, like, other people that are involved in the case, like, um, but he became a vegan or a vegetarian due to visual snow because he thought that like, the type of intake of food that he had, like, it didn't have anything to do with him being, like, someone that didn't wanna hurt animals, like, it all had to do with the fact that he was trying to stop visual snow from happening, you know what I mean?
Why do you
And,
think it stopped that?
because he, like, did research and he, like, found out that there was, like I mean, I think, I can't remember where I found that, but I'll, like, include that, like, in the specific episode or whatever that I do about the visual snow stuff, I'll write that down and say, like, make sure to include the vegetarianism with that stuff, but, yeah, so and vegetarian oh, because I remember because people there was, like, an article that were saying, "Oh, yeah, he lost a ton of weight," because he used to be, like, really fat or something, and they said he lost lunch like, a lot of weight, and one of his friends said that it was, like, he lost weight due to um, becoming obsessed with this visual snow, and it was, like, all he talked about, and that was, like, one way that he thought he could cure it because no one was helping Brian, um, but, yeah, so but the K-Pax thing is weird because it's, like, the
Did
fact
they
that,
not
like
believe he had visual snow and thought he was just kind of looking for attention or something?
who, what?
Did his friends think he was just looking for attention with his snow story?
I don't think so.
Because is there like a neurological basis to it? Like, have they found
Yes,
patterns that indicate visual snow?
yes, 100%. Yeah, it's, like, it's from the visual auditory processing center, and it also is, like,
Aren't
considered
the
to be, like, comorbid with migraines.
sorry, aren't the visual and auditory processing centers like located a little ways from each other in the brain?
No, I think they're, like, both part of the occipital lobe, but there is, like, kind of, like, a connection, like, between, like, visual processing and, like or wait, what did you just ask?
Yeah, I always thought your auditory processing was like kind of above your left ear, and then your visual processing was like right in the middle of your brain.
Yeah, I think visual definitely is an occipital, but, like, there's different pathways that, like, are used to, like, store memories, and a lot of them overlap, so, like, you know, if you have, like if you s like, you know, if you smell blueberry pie and it, like, always, like, makes you remember your grandma's house or something like that. Like, so there's these different pathways that are shared, like, to and, like, a lot of it does have to do with, like, the visual system, which is, like, the occipital system, but I guess, like, maybe not auditory, but, I mean, I know that Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about the auditory stuff, but because that's like more temporal lobe, but all of them, like, I think connect to like the or hippocampus, or well, and definitely the thalamus is also like involved. This is stuff that I'm like remembering from literally like shit that I wrote like fucking 6 or 7 years ago. So I'm like definitely have to like revisit that to make sure. But I know for a fact that like the visual is the occipital, and that there's like pathways between like the hippocampus, which is like where memories are stored, and like the occipital lobe. So, um, but yeah. And okay, let me finish reading these quotes that
Memory
he,
storage, not like a computer memory storage, is it?
what's that? What'd you say?
The storage in the brain. How does that work? It's not like a computer memory storage where there's going to be like bits of information that are just like uploaded into your brain that you can pull back whenever you want. Or is it like that?
Some of it is. But other times, like, you have, like, memories that, like, like, with the example of the blueberry pie, like, maybe you, like, were having trouble, like, really thinking about back to your grandma's house, but then all of a sudden you smell blueberry pie and you're like, and then those memories are retrieved again. So they don't know. I mean, so much is unknown about the brain as it is. But yeah, like, there are some, like, some of it seems to be kind of like part of a drive where you can be like, pull up a memory, but then other stuff is, like, kind of repressed, and memory's, like, super faulty too. Like, a lot of times you can't, like, rely on memories, and, like, people can create new memories, and that's why, like, like, especially with, like, when people go to prison because people are eyewitnesses, and, like, a lot of people are, like, wrongly imprisoned due to, like, wrongful eyewitness testimony because people just, like, make shit up in their head, or, like, I mean, it's just, like, it's very, like, malleable, and it's, like, very easy to be, like, kind of, like, changed, so, and if you tell yourself, like, I mean, I remember, like, stories with friends, and, like, like, I, like, the other day was, like, thinking, like, I was like, "Was I actually there? Like, did I do that? Or was that just, like, a, like, memory that a friend shared with me, and that I've just, like, heard her tell that story so many times, or I've, like, retold that story so many times, and, like, maybe my memory actually, like, placed me into the actual memory even though I wasn't actually there." Do you know what I mean?
Uh huh.
So that's pretty weird. Um, so anyways, Brian says, "I got it September 21st of last year, and ever since then, I have been depressed. I can't remember anything at all, and I always have had this horrible pressure in my head. My mind is never not on visual snow. I feel like you're making a lot of noise."
I'm so sorry. Hold on a second.
No, I can't hear you at all. Okay, no worries. Um, yeah, and then why can't you see me? This is so annoying. Why? That's super lame. I mean, it says browser has lost connection to my camera. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what the fuck? Ugh, annoying. Let's try stop virtual camera. Start virtual camera. Stop streaming. You will not be able to reconnect. What? No, don't do that. The fuck? Whatever. I'm sorry, but that you can't see me. I wonder
Yeah.
if it's like something about how I am on. Maybe I should not use this. Okay, wait. Let me try something else. Ugh, my God, why is this so hard?
Thank you for tolerating my cooking. I felt really good to be able to make some dinner. I'm in a much better mood now.
Oh, yeah, no worries, dude, at all. Sorry to be like being quiet.
No worries. Of course.
Okay, hold on, okay, I'm gonna stop virtual camera, and then I'm gonna start virtual camera. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Like, why? to stream. Dude, I don't know. I don't know why you can't see me. This is
I
so.
see. Yeah,
Huh?
I'm sorry. I hear you.
I know. What are you eating?
I'm done eating now. I just drank some beer and almost burped, but just gonna recite the alphabet in my head and see if it goes away.
Cool.
What I did make though was potatoes and eggs with onion and guacamole, and it was really good.
That's cool. It does sound good. Dude, this is so lame. I don't know what's going on. Why? Why? Oh, it's giving me the option to start camera. Oh, I'm dumb. Start, bitch. Start. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here we go. There I am. Cool. All right. So back to Brian's bullshit. Hold on. Let's see here. Where did that go? Okay. Oops.
Yeah, back to Brian's bullshit. I mean, I feel like the demonic possession case is strong here. I feel like he should plea insanity if he is like convinced that he was there and he was actually like, present for the murder, but didn't necessarily have enough like memory or enough mind to stop himself from doing that. It sounds to me like if he was truly the guy with the knife, which I still don't know, it was probably insanity. And as like a humane person, I'd rather him just be like in a hospital rather than like getting like victimized in jail or potentially getting the death penalty, which I also think is kind of cruel.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely he should not get the death penalty, no matter what, I think. But yeah, like I think it's gonna be hard to because the thing that's weird about the criminal justice system and like psychology and like using mental health and like insanity pleas. Like I've done evals for like being competent, like people that are either competent to stand trial and also people that are considered to be like not guilty by reason of insanity. And they're different and also none of them have to do with like anything like the mental health system like we really have. Like it's like legal. It's not psychological like what we have in the DSM-5, which is like kind of like the Bible of disorders. Like it that doesn't count for anything in the legal system. So basically like in the legal system you just have to determine whether or not they knew. Why does it keep doing this?
Go
Why
on.
am I getting
I want to hear what
disconnected?
you're saying.
Hold on, let me start the camera again. This thing is stupid as fuck. Come on. Okay. Oh my god. What? Okay. Anyways. Hi, I'm back. Yeah, so like in order to be found not guilty, like you just have to have known the difference between right and wrong at the time of the crime, which is way different than someone who like has visual snow. Someone that has visual snow probably knows right from wrong. Do you know what I mean? And you know what else is really interesting about this case is in Idaho, they actually don't have the option for not guilty by reason of insanity. So it's not even an option.
Really? They
Yeah.
just crazy people straight to federal prison?
Yeah. And like well, because okay, so
That's very Wild West of
that's what.
them. Very Wild West of them. Just
Well,
to send them straight to the news, whether they were, you know,
yeah, it's really
because
fucked up. I'd be interested to see what type of facilities they have like in the prison system there because like, I've worked in 3 different prisons in Minnesota and I've worked like as a psychologist. So like I know that the mental health care that we have in Minnesota is super poor and there's not like a lot of options for people to but you can have schizophrenia and like not be found guilty by reason of insanity. So there's a lot of people and I was confused when I started working in prisons. I was like, how are there people with schizophrenia in prison? And they're like, well, just because you have schizophrenia doesn't mean that you didn't know right from wrong at the time of the crime. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like Oh my god, what is going on? Why does it keep doing this? It's so fucking weird.
If I'm wrong, that sounds extremely subjective, but
It
I'm,
is so
I'm guessing
crazy.
it's mostly major crimes that they deal with that on. So, I mean, there is probably a definitive sense of right and wrong in terms of like stabbing some random dude or something, you know?
I think a lot of times it's like if you were like actually psychotic, like if you were not on meds and you were like stabbing your
And
child,
like
like
Jesus like told you you had to do it or something.
yeah, like a Muhammad, like Muhammad told me that I had to like rip the heart out of my son, and like that is obviously a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
So like that's why you would go to the mental health prison and not like an actual like Department of Corrections prison. But in Idaho, if they don't like even have that as an option, I would think that they have like a lot of pretty like sick people in their prisons. And I like just wonder if they have extra mental health support um to like take care of that population, cuz like at least in Minnesota we have like a whole state hospital that takes care of people like that until they're like considered to be like okay again. So I don't know, it's all pretty weird. And anyways, so yeah, Brian, he this is some of the shit that he posted. He says, okay, here's some other stuff. He goes, as I hug my family, I look into their faces, I see nothing. It is like I am looking at a video game, but less. I feel less than mentally damaged. It is like I have severe brain damage. I am stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? I feel myself slipping away. I hear screams faintly, but I constantly battle away from it. He said fog, lack of comprehension at times, no interest in activity, constant thoughts of suicide, crazy thoughts, delusions of grandeur, anxiety, poor self image, poor social skills, no emotion in capitals in letters. I feel like nothing has a point to it. When I got home,
Like, really self-aware for someone with all those issues. I feel like
he's
as a
super
teenager,
smart.
if I had those issues, I wouldn't notice, and I would just be like, just like antisocial or something if I was really like detached from reality, and I definitely wouldn't write about it. So kudos to him for like taking the perspective or whatever on himself.
Yeah, no, I think he's a really bright dude. Um, like hence him in his PhD program. So, yeah, and then, but then here's the sad part about it all. At the very end, he goes, oh, here's another one. He goes, when I get home, I am mean to my family. This started when visual snow did. I felt no emotion, and along with the depersonalization, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. Everyone hates me. Pretty much, I'm an asshole. Um, he says, I can't remember anything. Blah 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 blah. Okay, shit. Now I don't have the part. Like, there's okay. So the very last one that he posts is him being like, I finally just accepted this. And because he was like asking people for help, like, how do you deal with this, like what do you do? And then he was like, oh yeah, okay, I finally just accepted it, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. And that was his last post, and it's just like so sad because he obviously like didn't get any help for it, you know what I mean? And like he just was like, all right, I just am gonna accept that I like have no emotions and that I like have this like massive problem that. And I think that's probably why he went into like um psychology. I think that's why a lot of people go into psychology. It's because they're like trying to figure themselves out. Um, but yeah.
Interesting.
Um, yeah. So okay. Where do we go from there? How did we get into that? Oh, okay.
That his possibility of having been possessed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, totally. Okay, so then oh yeah, and like the fact that he well, anyways, okay, so to go back to the hold on one second. Oh my god, I think it's like when I get a notification that maybe the camera stops or something. I don't fucking know.
I still see you.
Okay, good. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna stop screen and then try to share the pictures again. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, see, it fucking happened again. Motherfucker. It's fine. All right, so, um, kind of want to smoke some weed and get a beer, but I'll just finish this part first. So when I Googled that quote, the Frederick Nietzsche quote that I found in that chat room on the first night. See, this is why it's hard to make a video because, like, you see, like, we've been talking for like an hour and, like, literally, like, it started. I was like, let's just start off with where I started. And it was like the first thing that I saw that quote. And, like, from just that Frederick Nietzsche quote, like, somehow we went an hour into a bunch of information. Like, all of it seems like, I don't know, it's just really hard to explain shit. So I do feel
think
like
we've had a couple good conversations, but I agree. If we try to re-stream this or something, we'll have our thoughts fleshed out more and be able to make points rather than.
no, I see that's why I feel like the live stream is like a good um like way to do it because it's been like debilitating for me to try to like wrap this all into just like one video here and one video there or whatever. Like I think it makes more sense for it to be a conversational like form and to go into these things, even though it's not like completely succinct. I mean, I don't know if you might be way smarter than I am and like able to come up with a better way to like actually present some of this information. And if you can, like, I'm cool with that and like let me know. But I just feel like that's why I just keep wanting to go live because I'm like, I don't know how to like make videos with this. And like even with the videos that I do make, I'm like, I've made these like, 3 videos and I'm like, well, none of this makes sense or even matters or whatever. What the fuck? Why does my camera keep stopping? Jesus Christ, that's annoying. Anyways, sorry.
So, which Nietzsche quote were you referring to? Because I think you brought up two in the beginning.
Oh yeah, so it's the gilded sheath of pity sometimes covers the dagger of envy. And I don't know if you know, but in this case, the reason why Kohlberger was caught was because there was a sheath left behind at the scene
Mhm.
where a very minuscule part of his DNA was found, like touch DNA, like I mean, like microscopic DNA, like definitely dude was like not holding on to the fucking sheath where they found his DNA. Like I don't know how the DNA got on there, but it was not like a
He did it
substantial.
probably both super clean first, and then while he was cleaning, somehow something cross contaminated where he had touched the table that he had put the knife on without
That's true.
sterilizing it first or something.
That's true.
Like it's his DNA and it's his DNA, and it sounds like he has something to do with that sheet. And he had every reason to want to keep his regular DNA off it or whatever.
I feel like the weird thing about the sheath is like the officer that worked with Brent Kopaka found the sheath, and it was like 12 hours after the crime happened. So it's just really weird to me that it just seems very suspicious to me. Um, so yeah, but
That is an interesting quote, though. So the gilded sheath of pity covers the sword of envy,
the dagger of envy.
the dagger of envy, and it
Yeah,
was a dagger that was used in the crime.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty weird. And then also, so like and then so then I started getting into Hitchcock movies, because on Twitter this one guy is like that kind of gets inside information is like, oh, the movie Rope has there's a lot of similarities they say like between this case and the movie Rope. But in the movie Rope, they are obsessed with Frederick Nietzsche. And a lot of the murder that they commit is based off of the like Superman or Ubermensch philosophy and kind of like creating this like, like I don't know,
Same
like
with Hitler, I believe.
what? Ubermensch?
Yeah, Hitler
Yeah,
was in Übermensch.
for sure. And also the movie Rope is based off of like this other true crime case, Loeb and Leopold, which they were inspired by Nietzsche too. So it's weird. It's like weird. That's also like another really weird connection to me, right? Like, I mean, that's pretty weird. So, anyway, so then I Googled this quote and um this is what came up. So two different things came up, and I need to figure out a way to like actually have sound because I want to show the other thing that came up when I googled that quote, and it has to do with foodie shit that I think like Enan Harsh might be attached to, which is that neighbor guy who's like also a vegetarian and he's like a chef, but he's also like part of a circus and about just weird shit. So and I think he seems really smart too, but he's also he like was a drug dealer, so I think that like that might have also been like another thing was like possibly if Brian was still like using drugs, like maybe he was going to buy drugs from Ian Harsh, and that's why because they say that Brian was like stalking um all of these people or whatever, and I'm like, well, maybe he was just like picking up drugs from the next door neighbor, actually. Like maybe he wasn't there to stalk them. Like maybe he
Was
was
there any other DNA found on that sheet?
no.
Sketchy.
It's super sketch, and the fact that, like, the fucking dude that worked with Brian's neighbor, Brent Kopaka, who was murdered by that same cop dude, like, that found the sheath, like, all of it's super shady, and right now in the case, like, they're asking for, like, training records of, like, some of the investigators, which is also the same dude that was, like, in that battalion with Brent Kopaka, who was K-Pax. I don't know. It's super weird, dude. Like there's like really weird shit. But yeah, so then and I think they also might have met on this Hitman game too. Hold on, I need to find a lighter. Um I'm gonna smoke some weed. Okay, I found it. Um yeah, so this is what they say about this like Hitman 3 thing with this quote. So they say he goes, hold on. He's like, okay, wait. Okay, so he's like, I guess on this game you can come up with um different kill scenarios or something. Um a contract of Hitman 3. So a fan made contract of Hitman 3. So one of these people made this contract for this video game Hitman 3 and it was based off of that Frederick Nietzsche quote and he says I had planned on doing a dagger only kill contract based on a quote I loved in college by Nietzsche. The gilded sheath of pity sometimes covers the dagger of envy. But instead, he says, so this is what he actually made for this contract. This is the briefing. There appears to be a secret rivalry between Agents Banner and Montgomery. Banner prefers working alone, while Montgomery occasionally teases him for being a lone wolf and weaker assassin. Okay, so Brent Kopeka was given a Purple Heart for his like tours in Afghanistan, but he had major PTSD. So I think maybe he was like an actual hitman. I mean, I don't think that's been confirmed or not, but I do wonder like what his role was in Afghanistan and also like what this other guy like it's Officer Payne is his name. He works for the Moscow Police Department. He's the one that was one of the investigators and he was in the same battalion as Brent Kopaka in Afghanistan. So anyways, like just keep that in mind when you're hearing about this like contract that this person made on this video game. So he's like, um, Hugo Grober acts like he's afraid of the bikers when in fact he is jealous of how successful their cocaine operation is and wants taste of the action. And I also feel like there's like weird shady stuff like there's definitely some corruption and like corruption comes up again and again in like the research that I've done on this case and like I can get into that in the future but like it has to do with like Hitchcock stuff and like that's actually being brought up in like the current court cases and Kohlberger's lawyer is actually like filing stuff in the court case, like talking about possible like Brady Giglio, which is like considered to be like unethical, like shady things maybe done by the police and like that. So I don't know exactly the details. I can't explain it right now, but anyways, so show these three the consequences of their sins. Give everyone else a show to remember. He said, I decided to make one and I don't plan on getting picked, but thought it was interesting enough. Agent Banner is a pretty cool target and minimal backstory, lone wolf, etc. I chose zero complications because it only makes it difficult for new casual players. So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know, like, if there would be a way to find out who A Cold Day in Hell was, because Cold Day in Hell is the user that made this um featured contract. So he said, I tried using the Serpent's Tongue too, but it only made the security room guards antsy. Great run. And now a trial and be featured contract submission. Competitive jealousy. Competitive jealousy. So I feel like there might have been some competitive jealousy between Brian Kopaka and this Officer Payne. Um, and then, okay, so somehow I got into Batman. And again, like this was like the first night that I really started going down these like rabbit holes, but I can't remember what it was. And I want to, maybe I'll go back and look at my actual like Google history, but somehow I went from that information on the Hitman forum to the Dark Knight. And I think that the Dark Knight has some stuff. So here was a weird thing. In Batman, the Dark Knight. Well, let me play. I hope I can play this like clip real quick. But it's like some men just want to watch the world burn. Have you seen The Dark Knight in a while?
Not in a while, but I remember that part of it, I think.
Yeah, he's like talking to he's like Master Wayne or whatever, and then he's like, I think that you're giving people too much credit. Like sometimes men just like they don't have a reason for doing something. It's just like some men just want to watch the world burn. And then I was like reading something about other stuff about the Dark Knight, and they said that there was like this his Lamborghini in it, like his car that he uses, um, before we know that he's Batman. So okay, what is it again? Like, is it like, dude, like it was like hidden that he was Batman? Who is Batman in that movie?
Like, what was his, like, human name?
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, is it Wayne something? Okay, anyways, either way, like apparently throughout the movie he was using this car, and it was like a certain type of Lamborghini that was called like the Murcielago or something like that. And that the name, and like apparently it was like kind of like a an Easter egg of the movie, like telling people that he was actually Batman because the name of the car actually meant bat. So like Murcielago in Spanish means bat, you know? Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I didn't know that, but I see. Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like, well, I wonder. So then, like, this was like the Elantra was the like car that everyone was looking for, and I was like, well, I wonder what Elantra means. Like, maybe that ties into it somehow. So I googled what Elantra meant. And okay, actually, oh, and there's more. There was copycat. Oh, and anyways, there's a couple of quotes from Dark Knight that seemed interesting. Regardless, because it was copycats, which I feel like these guys that committed this crime, like the Idaho Fork case, like definitely are copycats. But then when I googled the Elantra meeting, this is what I found. Um, Someone was like, "I was way bored. I found this." Well, to carry out bury, exalt, whatever, and then someone goes, "Okay, why?" I had a friend tell me that the word Elantra means a female whore in Spanish. And I have a theory that the girls were considered to be like whores by like one of the killers. And I'm pretty sure, and I guess I'll name names, like this dude, Jack Showalter, who was like definitely one of the main suspects in the beginning before they arrested Brian Kohlberger. And like, I think that one of the victims went out on a date with him, which I'll get like more into that later too. But like, it's not confirmed, but it's kind of like I just have this like feeling, and like Kayla's parents like said something that made me be like, oh my god, he went on a date with her, and he also had beef with Ethan because Ethan got him like kicked out of the fraternity that they were part of, and fraternities are also like a huge part of all of this, and like occult groups and shit. And but I'm pretty sure that he was like thinking that they were all whores, and like, oh, Christchurch is like is huge in Moscow, and like they're very anti
How
women
did he get him kicked out of this fraternity?
because he was acting weird and he was like being really creepy to women, and like I think, and like Ethan was friends with all those girls, and I think he was being weird specific to Kylie, and maybe Maddie too. But yeah, and then they were like, then someone responds saying, yeah, yeah, actually it's the place where whores gather. So it's like, I don't know. To me, that's pretty weird that that's what a laundromat. I mean, that's a pretty weird coincidence a little bit, but it's just weird. Like, even if it's not the case and that's just a weird coincidence, it's still just like a really fucking weird coincidence to think about because other people have said that even if it was just Brian Kohlberger, like that maybe he like had was bitter and was like jealous because they were so pretty and good looking and like popular and like he was like such a nerd and like no one liked him and blah blah blah, you know? So I'm like, well, that's also kind of weird. So
That seems believable that he would be jealous of these women because it sounds like he had a hard life, like having like all this visual snow and having to like have all the pressure of being like a PhD and heroin addict and being bullied or being unpopular.
yeah,
And then these girls that were like pretty well liked and like normal, good looking 20-year-olds, like purportedly, like from an outside perspective,
for sure.
probably he thought they had it much easier than him and that they were just like total opposites, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
He envied them, right?
Yeah, I think so. 100%. And I think that that Jack Showalter dude is like also like another really like reasonable thing to think that he was possibly involved too. Um, because I was reading shit on Reddit like right after that shit happened, and people were like, "Yeah, I worked with him at this um bakery or like some restaurant," which would have been maybe another connection to Ian Harsh because Ian Harsh worked at like local restaurants too. And they were saying that he was like threatening girls with knives and shit like at his job, and he ended up getting fired, and that they had like called the police and like reported it. And unfortunately, that was like before I was taking screenshots and like really going down to rabbit holes. But like, I definitely remember reading that on Reddit, like about Jack Showalter. And Jack Showalter is like never, I mean, there's like rumors that he like escaped to Africa because his parents are like super like elite and like well connected. Like a lot of these people's families um are super crazy well connected. So, and like that's provable. Like people that like almost like Rockefeller type level of like um, connections to like politics and judges and people in the church, like the Christ, whatever church, like that woman who I was on her live streams a little bit, like the one that we were watching the other week or whatever. She was like sexually abused by Christ Church, and she knows like a lot of people. She was like really young, and she lived it was like her mom was like a single mom, and they like took advantage of her, and she was like molested, and it's like, and a lot of there's like a lot of weird murders that have happened like around Moscow, and they all like are involving like a lot of like misogynistic just douchebag dudes that like murder their wives and stuff, and like they all are part of this like Christ Church like religion. I don't know, and I feel like that might have some like occult shit going on in it too. So I don't know. But anyways, I mean, this is all obviously super conspiracy theory type shit, but I feel like I don't like my profile. I don't know why it's like only looking at the side of me, but whatever. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of interesting. And then okay, I'm gonna write down the other thing that I'm gonna like show you is like with that quote. Um, hold on. Here's some notes that I took about. Oh yeah, weird. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So many things. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to. Okay, yeah. Vegetarianism, and then what was the thing I was just talking about?
Christchurch occultism.
Yes. What was I gonna do about that or talk about that?
You were gonna show me something. I don't really know.
Okay. So, any hoozles, yeah, I don't know. Do you think that we should just like leave it there for now? I feel like, or should we keep going? Or I don't know.
I mean, if you have some interesting information, I'd be open to hear it, but I don't know. I don't really have much to contribute myself.
I feel like it's just really helpful to have you here. So, thank you. But
I'm glad to be here.
yeah. Um. Hold on more. This Hyundai thing. Modernity. New thinking, new possibilities. I don't know if that means anything. What is this one? I don't know what this means. Oh, maybe Hour of the Wolf. I was like, that's kind of weird. Because I feel like the lone. Oh, maybe that's how I got connected to The Dark Knight was because the lone wolf. I think I maybe Googled lone wolf because of like talking about the lone wolf like on that video game. And then that led me to The Dark Knight.
Isn't lone wolf a phrase used to describe a solo killer that's not acting in conspiracy with others?
I don't know. Let's Google what a lone wolf is.
So look
I
up lone wolf killer.
I okay, I have Googled lone wolf before, and there is like a weird company for like hunting gear, which makes sense. So that might not be connected, but it's like out of Utah or something or Idaho maybe. But anyways, lone wolf. What the fuck? Okay, lone wolf terrorism in America. Office of Justice Programs. Okay, let's see. This is like a PDF file. Using knowledge of radicalization pathways to forge prevention strategies. This is a report by the U.S. Department of Justice. Okay, I'm going to share this screen. Okay, so I'll remove this. What the motherfuck? Oh, wait, Chrome tab. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh, wait. Yep. Cool. Using. Okay. But yeah. Also, I found. Um. Oh my God. Maybe I should talk about that now. No, you know what I'll do? Okay. So, because I found a couple of other scholarly articles. Oh my God, that's the other thing. Okay, dude, so many crazy things. Okay, so like I found Kohlberger published in a couple of articles about weird genetic shit, which is just weird, I think. So I'll okay, wait. It was like a scholarly because I like have a bunch of I'm like part of Reach. I've been like because I've been published a couple times, so I'm on like ResearchGate, and like I know how to do pretty extensive like scholarly article searches and like understand like some of the weird whatever. And so I was like looking for under some philosophy articles, and I also found some like genetic uh like studies that were published with Kohlberger, but I think it wasn't like Brian Kohlberger, which of course there's like other Kohlbergers in the world, but I wonder if it does have something to do with his family. Okay, article by Kohlberger. And then I know that Kohlberger's like super into like philosophy and shit. And there's a couple of philosophers that I think are super, super interesting that referenced like somehow I got on. Oh my God, it was about this same fucking quote. It was about this Nietzsche quote. Because when I Googled the Nietzsche quote, I was like trying to like really get down into what the fuck the quote even means. Because I'm like, what does this mean? And like there's been different researcher or philosophers that have written about like envy and jealousy and yeah, and there's a couple of them that have really weird connections. Like there's like a couple of crimes that are like really similar that I think maybe like Kohlberger maybe like had some affinity for some of these philosophers. So I'll like try to organize this. So maybe tomorrow I'll like go organize these things like that I'm writing down right now and then come back and then like have it more organized, like and succinct that I can go over like with you tomorrow or something. But yeah, philosophers connected to case. Okay. Because I feel like Nietzsche is definitely like one of these players, like super famous, like philosophers, and then I think there's this woman that maybe one of them really liked too, who I kind of like too, but um, yeah. So I'll go into that too tomorrow, maybe or whenever we do this. But Indiana is where I feel like some other weird shit is going on too. So it's weird that this is Indiana State University on this lone wolf terrorism thing. What year? 2012. Okay, weird. Um,
What's going on in Indiana?
well, so there's this like really strange case kind of called the Delphi case in or is that Ohio? Well, Brian Kohlberger was pulled over twice in Indiana and like on his way back to Pennsylvania. And there's like I I can't remember exactly like right off the top of my head why I was like, "Oh, that's super shady." But oh my God, remember how I showed you that? Okay, this is like super obscure, but or like a really long away connection, but that portal down in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a place called Peru, Indiana, and that's where one there's like a killer right now that's in jail and like basically being tortured in prison, and he supposedly murdered these two young girls, but I'm thinking it's connected occult shit. Like they use these children for occult purposes, sacrifices, like weird shit. And it's like maybe all surrounding some of this kind of metaphysical portal
What
type.
makes you say that?
Well, because I think that these people in Idaho 4 case were definitely like similar things, like ritualistic type stuff was done. And like what makes me think that is that like there's been a lot of rumors that like the way that they were killed were like a lot worse than they're describing, like mutilation, and just really sick shit. And why else do I think that? I can't remember offhand right now, but I know that it all definitely connects. Oh, the fraternity stuff. I feel like there's like a lot of connections with fraternities and people that are in these like really high elite type groups that maybe need like blood of children or of whores or whatever. I know that that sounds super out there, but I swear I will have like stuff to like. I mean, I'm not pulling this shit out completely out of my ass. Maybe a little.
No, I've heard those stories before too, and in a way they kind of make sense.
Yeah. Like
Kind of.
actually, like last week, one of my favorite YouTubers, that chapter, he um just presented a case where it was like back in the 80s and this college student was kidnapped from um his he was down in Mexico on like some spring break trip, and this occult group kidnapped him, and the leader was like this super crazy evil dude, and they had like murdered, like when they finally arrested them, they found out that they were doing these weird ritual sacrificial things, like where they were like cutting off his dick and his balls and like eating people's brains and like they had to still be warm, and like all these people that were like part of his like cult or whatever like testified about it, and his mom raised him because she was like considered herself kind of like witchy too. I
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This
So,
was in South America. Was this in Africa? I think that stuff happens all the time in Africa.
well, I've heard about that stuff happening in Africa, but no, this was in Mexico. It was like they were on a trip, and the dude actually grew up like in Texas or something, and like went back and forth, like the killer. Oh, he went back and forth between like California and I can't remember exactly the specifics, but it is a really good like episode of that chapter. And I was like, dude, this shit is out there. Like people definitely, use like they murder people to do ritualistic stuff. And I think like a lot of it might be skull and bones, like politicians and stuff. It's like really easy to cover that stuff up. And it would make sense like with the military, Semper Fi, like all those people, especially when you start getting up like pretty high into military stuff. And maybe that's why like Brent Kopeka, like, he got the Purple Heart and stuff. Like maybe he started like knowing too much information.
That's really weird.
hmm Anyway, so this research in prison lone wolf terrorists. Okay, strictly in terms of lethality, the data indicate that lone wolf terrorism in America is not on the rise. Oh, oh, this is interesting. First, uniformed police and military personnel have become primary targets of lone wolf terrorists. Second, consistent with the relaxation of U.S. gun laws since the 1990s and the recent trend in mass shootings, the lone wolf's preferred weaponry is now a staggering range of high-velocity firearms. While there is no standard profile of the lone wolf terrorist, most of them are unemployed, single white males with a criminal record. Compared to members of terrorist groups, lone wolves are older, less educated, and more prone to mental illness. Super kind of interesting, right? That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, maybe this stuff isn't like completely like this is my problem is I like will read stuff and I'll like connect it all in my brain, but then realize that there's not like actual like it's all in my head. It's not like actually connected to the case. But I don't know.
I mean,
It's
I
interesting.
don't know how that wouldn't be considered terrorism if he just goes and kills four random people. Like that sounds more like terrorism than some of the bullshit that gets labeled as terrorism. You know,
That's true.
like they called Julian Assange a terrorist, and he was like everything but a terrorist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like actually like trying to not like yeah,
He was like the peace man.
right. But because he like yeah, was like disclosing information that the government didn't want disclosed, which is bullshit. Like, why shouldn't the public have information about what the fuck the government is doing? I mean, it's like super shady how, I mean, and that's another thing that I keep coming across here is like government corruption and like stuff that's like about like CIA like cover ups and like a lot of Hitchcock movies that I like have found that seem to be like potentially connected to have to do with like shady cops and like there's actually this I don't think okay. I'll write that down too, but I don't think I have time to like go I feel like that's gonna be too much. Like I feel like but like government corruption is for sure like another aspect to this. Um and I do feel like maybe Brent Kopeka like had some like special knowledge that he was
Do
gonna
you mind? Do you
disclose.
mind if I turn off my camera for a minute? I'm just like relaxing in bed right now.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Thanks.
Um,
So you think Rachel Packett had special knowledge? Do you think he was actually the guy with the knife, or do you think it was Kohlberger?
um, I think they were like working together. I think Brent Kopaka definitely like knew some information, and that's my thing that I don't know yet. Like, I kind of have a feeling that Brent Kopaka and Brian Kohlberger were possibly used as like fall guys or actually set up like like not even fall guys but like actually just what's the word where someone like it's
Scapegoat?
not even it's like a more it's like a more official word or something like if someone set up is one thing but like basically commits a crime and like leaves shit to make it look completely like you did it.
Oh, so they were framed?
Framed. Yes. I like do wonder if possibly like that part of me does feel like they were framed and that this is like a lot of elite powerful government like shit. And I don't know how exactly to connect that to these four kids or like what the motive would necessarily be, but it like that is still like like a major possibility in my mind as like what could have potentially happened with this case. But I also think that it could have very easily been that there were people, multiple people involved in this that like did it for different reasons. Like that was kind of my first theory that there was like maybe like four people that were working together, like these dudes that like maybe met like and kind of planned this out together, like and maybe tried to possibly make it look like other people did it or like leave certain clues or something. Like maybe Brian Kohlberger and Ian Harsh did this and they like were gonna try to like make it look like and set up that Brent Kopacko did it or something like that. You know what I mean? But
They were going to make it look like Kopaka did it, or they were going to make it look like Kohlberger did it?
well, I feel like either one could be an option. Like I don't know for sure what the deal is, but I do feel like there's 100% deeper shit going on. It was not just Kohlberger. It was like multiple people were involved and like um and I don't know
What
if
do
he
you make of his car having been found at the scene?
yeah, that's not like for sure confirmed, you know.
Really? How about the triangulation where he hooked up to their Wi-Fi?
I don't think it's ever been confirmed that he hooked up to their Wi-Fi. Like he just was bouncing off of their Wi-Fi. Like, so he was in the general area. So, like, if he was buying drugs from someone next door, he would have been in the area that would have been bounced off of their Wi-Fi system, but not actually signed into the Wi-Fi system. Like, I don't think they ever confirmed that he actually was like signed into their system.
What do you make of him leaving the state shortly thereafter?
Yeah, that's why I feel like he probably was like somewhat involved on like some level. So that's actually now probably now that I'm saying this, like I bet he was minimally like involved, but was set up to be the fall guy, even though there was like 15 other people involved or something. You know?
See, I think that a more interesting possible read on the case to me would be like an analysis of his descent into madness and the way that it relates to white snow or visual snow, like drug addiction, jealousy, uh, emotional detachment, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like whoever is involved with this like knew Brian Kolpaka like or Brian Kohlberger like very deeply and like probably knew that he would be like a really easy fall guy to take. But like I don't think I would like bet almost like anything on the fact that he did not do this shit alone. And like maybe it was like some weird fucked up thing that he decided to do with some other people or like yeah, or maybe someone lied to him and said that they were gonna like just go try to like scare them or something. But like I mean,
Yeah, or like they lied to him and said that he wouldn't get in trouble if he did it because he was gonna go and join the elites if he could make the killing and his snow would go away and everything would work out.
maybe. Or maybe he was just like, fuck it, fuck all these assholes. Like, I think he was kind of like misogynistic, and it sounds like other people thought that he came off as pretty like arrogant. To me, he sounds like maybe he has like he's on the spectrum of like, autism. I mean, he's obviously super fucking smart, like just from reading those like Tapatalk posts. And like, I mean, if that was okay, he's like your age. So how old were you in 2011?
In what?
In 2011.
I'd have been like 17.
Okay, so that's how old he was when he wrote those Tapatalk posts. Like to me, that suggests someone who's like very bright. Like, and I feel like a lot of people that are almost like geniuses or savants like are usually pretty fucking weird and like socially awkward and probably on the spectrum of some sort. You know what I mean? Uh, not
Maybe. I mean,
all of
I
them,
think
but
a lot of smart people are like social also.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but you can definitely say that
A lot of
there are
boring
certain
people
things that are
also
like,
are, just kind of absorbed in what others will think of them and stuff like that. So who knows? There is probably something about being weird that makes you more special.
can you say that? What did you say? Can you say it again?
Like it's an easy way to be like really boring if you're like kind of absorbed in what others think of you. So if you're like weird and you know it, like you're maybe more likely to be more like especially inclined to, I don't know, get interested in like criminology or like self awareness, or else like, possibly just fuck up and hurt a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know, and that's kind of what I talk about, like in that video my last video that I posted on the copycat to the movie Rope, and like the people that are the murderers, like from those cases, like are elitist, like genius, like well off white young men. Like basically the definition right here of this lone wolf that were of this like article, and like
Well, I think they said that they were non-educated, like middle-aged white men who were like disaffected and like had high caliber sporting rifles or something.
oh, that's true. Well, it says compared to okay, this is a little bit like misrep or I don't know, this could be easily. It says compared to members of terrorist groups, lone wolves are older, less educated, and more prone to mental illness. So that's compared to terrorist groups. So what, but I mean, what's the definition of a terrorist group? Let's find out.
I bet there's just like listed terrorist groups of like terror cells and stuff like that, like Al Qaeda or Al Shabaab.
It says undergo radicalization in a group setting. That's what they consider to be a terrorist group. Undergo radicalization. Okay. Okay.
Scary.
Okay, maybe I'll save this and then I can summarize it, like or something, because it's kind of boring to just sit here like in silence reading this. But this is a really interesting article about lone wolves and specifically kind of like about this case.
Yeah. Do you want to like pick up on this again tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds good. And then I'll come back with that other shit that I wrote down and like um come up with like and bring back to the table like actual like evidence and like shit that I found on that stuff and like have things maybe better organized like with pictures and stuff. But yeah, because this is helpful to like um just like yeah, be able to like group things together a little bit easier. Like it's good to like brainstorm with you and like get feedback about this and then like leave and come back with like this is like writing a dissertation kind of.
Yeah. Do you want me to do any research too?
Um I mean, are you interested in any research that you want to do? Do you want
Let's
to
see.
research this like lone wolf terrorism part?
No, I don't want to research terrorism. I feel like terrorism and me are just like,
Okay, fair.
are there other cases that we can present on that I can research?
Like what do you mean? Like not the Idaho 4 case, you mean?
Yeah, I feel like you've got the Idaho 4 thing down.
That's true. Um, yeah, I mean, do whatever you think. Like, I'm cool with that completely.
Okay, I'll research the crypto billionaire debts and come up with a hypothesis on those.
Sweet. Oh, also maybe stuff that you could research too that might be like maybe peripherally like um connected to the Idaho 4 stuff would be like um maybe like occult like confirmed occult crimes or something in the United States or like in the world even.
Yeah, I think we should maybe focus on like US and Europe because for sure they go down a lot in the southern hemisphere, right?
Well, how about like the people that we're dealing with, which is like white elite, like um, it sounds like probably like either like maybe scholarly types or like maybe just like in the upper echelons of society, occult shit that takes place or that has been like confirmed, like to have gone down or something. I don't know, like because that case that that chapter I told you about, like just confirmed or whatever, like or just like reported on last week, or one of his videos was on it. It was like a white student, like college student, but that took place like in Mexico. But the student was from the United States, and then the dude that like was the leader of the like occult group was also like from California or something. But and that I don't think they were like necessarily like considered to be like elite, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know, whatever you think is best. But I feel like focusing on that group of occult type behavior would be most relevant to the Idaho 4 shit. Oh, it's like thunderstorming and Leela is like freaking out right now.
Did you ever hear about that dude who like called himself Satan and like had a bunch of people buried in his backyard and he was like a meth dealer or some shit?
Really? Where?
Where was that? I feel like that was like Mississippi or might have been, yeah, it was like somewhere in the South, I think.
Weird. I also heard of this other case that maybe I'll look into that a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. There was like it was not that long ago, and I think it was like in near West Virginia. It was like up in the foothills, like like kind of like outback type, like the hill. I don't know, you know what I mean? But the backwaters or whatever. Ooh, it like just uh
I
light.
heard it.
Yeah, but they were like keeping people in cages, and then when they like looked into they found a freezer that was full of human like different body parts and like organs and like labeled and dated like maybe they were like selling that shit online. Did you ever hear about that?
I hadn't. Did you hear about that dude who worked at like the Harvard mortuary and he was like selling body parts from people who like dedicated their body to science? He was like selling them as like novelty items.
Yeah, like didn't that just recently happen?
That was recent. What a ratchet thing to do.
Yeah, super shady. But that's
Creepy.
something else that has come up in this case, like that I have definitely talked about. And actually, oh my god, that's crazy that you bring that up because okay, I'll find that information that I have too about like the organ trade. And maybe that has to do with like some bigger crime groups like cartel and stuff. But I found a couple of connections to like between this Jack Showalter dude um and like just okay, what was it? I feel like it was like cancer research or something, but it was like because also genetics comes up a lot in this case too. And I think that like using certain types of like cells from people's bodies and stuff can be like really fruitful when you're like developing or like trying to create like, these like bio robotic, I don't even know. But um anyways, I'll come back with more information on that because that sounded like not much sense. But organ trade and bio connections. Which also could be like something that's like what's so weird about like this DNA stuff and how they found his DNA, like how they confirmed it. Like there's like a lot of genetic research going on in Idaho. It's like a hotspot. You know that one of your friends was like involved in that shit. And
But yeah, nearby.
yeah, and like also like oh, the knot theory thing because okay, so anyways, yeah, there's just a lot. So there's like a lot of twins and triplets and siblings and like family and like lookalikes like involved in all of this too. Like it's so weird. I'm gonna write that down too. I mean, it's like I don't know, dude. It's weird and shit. Yeah. Um, twins, triplets. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Do you want to do this again tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I'm checking out an article now. I don't have access to it,
Okay. What is
but
it?
it's Cults That Kill, Probing the Underworld of Occult Crime
Well,
by Anu Kahane.
what? Okay, so I have a lot of subscriptions to certain like academia sites and like different libraries and stuff. Like I might have access and like that ResearchGate thing. Like I might be able to access. So just if you want on my email, like just if you see articles that you can't have access to, just send them in an email and I can try to. Or if you want to start like a Google Doc or something, and then um
Okay, so that one is a book.
oh
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I'll do some research. I'll send you the info tomorrow.
yeah, okay. Well, what time should we go live again?
Maybe the same time.
What time did we go live today?
Well, we can just shoot for 6 your time, 7 my time.
Okay. I'll set a event after we finish this and then maybe tomorrow or
Wait,
tonight.
so I was gonna research. Oh yeah, occultism and the crypto issue
Yeah, yeah, which just might honestly overlap a little bit.
could be.
I bet it will. Well, it's probably government cover up involved in both of those topics, I bet. But well, that was the other thing, the Lone Wolf article. Um Is there a way to like okay, I bet I can end the live stream, but you'll still be there because I'd rather like finish talking to you. We can take this offline, if you want or whatever.
Yeah, check it out.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay, I also want to find a way to make this a podcast too. But thanks everyone for listening if you have listened and see you hopefully tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Time with ACAB.
Shit, Sarah, my phone is dying.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.